From the Long Beach port in California to the Jersey Shore, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana to Reno, Nevada, let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, talking trucking with Deaton and Doty. Welcome to episode 42. What's up, guys?
I'm breathing.
42.
Today on the show, we've got Jim Mackey from, he's in Brenham, Texas at home. How's it going, Jim?
Not too bad, just getting ready for the ice storm.
Yeah, there you go. Me too. Ray's in Seattle. He's a little worried about the weather, too. We were talking earlier. How's it going, Ray?
Doing good. How's everybody doing?
Doing good.
Great.
Nate Garner down in Greensboro, North Carolina, where he belongs.
Running from the snowstorm.
That's right. He had Get Me South.
Oh, you can run, but you can't hide.
And Kevin's joining us, and he's at home in Dunn. And Kevin will be on shortly. He said he was at the store on his way home. He'd be with us shortly. Christian Sneed, as always. We had to get Christian to show his ID. This is an 18 or older show. He looks so young
carded
with the shaved the Christmas beard.
Fat doesn't crack, baby. Fat doesn't crack.
Joel Howell is with us as always, except for when he has colonoscopies. And
That's right.
And
Happy
the
birthday,
original
Joel.
Florida man, Mike Doty.
What's up, fellas?
What's up?
Hey, got
Zach
a question for
Kern.
you, Russ. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
no,
no,
we're
I
not
was
done.
gonna
No, go ahead.
mention-
My bad.
Ian Dunlap on the news today.
Oh.
He's here. Zach Kern, our producer, and Kumar
Hello.
in the house. What's up?
Your desk
Christian?
always has like different arrangements all over it.
Yeah, they like
What's
moving
the
around.
What's the rock behind your monitor for?
Oh, we just talked about
We
that.
just mentioned that. So about three. Let me tell you, this rock over here.
I found that.
Yeah, Joel came in.
Someone found it before you did.
Joel came in one morning first, about 7:30 in the morning, to the office about 3-4 years ago, and our side window was busted out with that rock, and somebody climbed through, and that window is what, a foot wide, and it's like 3 feet tall, Ian, something like that. It's real narrow
It's
window.
probably about 6 feet tall.
Yeah,
1.5 feet wide.
yeah, it's a very narrow window, and someone broke through that window, and I don't know how. I mean, you have to be pretty small to get through there. And they stole some laptops. They stole our company checkbook. What else? They stole a bunch of stuff.
So that's
my
the story when they
computer
broke in.
monitor.
That's
But-
what they used.
Yeah, so we saved it. And,
But
Nice.
they left us a rock.
they left the rock.
And a blood sample
Yeah,
that they never.
and some blood. Right?
Yeah, we had
Got back to
detective.
us about
Honest to God, it was funny. The Barberton detective department or whatever, they came out with their forensic unit and they had forensic stuff on and were, taking the little swabs to the blood that was on the window because they got cut either leaving or coming. But yeah, that's the story of the rock.
That was a really fun morning.
Yeah.
It was like one of the first mornings we started.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
It's like the first month.
Oh, when we moved to this
Yeah,
building,
moved
yeah,
here,
that was when we first
Welcome to
moved
the
here.
neighborhood.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so on today's show, Kumar and I have got some stuff to go over with you. History of trucking. So Kumar and I were talking about it, that maybe we'll do a couple segments over the next month or so. We'll start with early trucking, when Jim Mackey started, and
Before fuel.
we'll go over some things, and then next week we'll go over another period in trucking. I thought it was pretty interesting, and Kumar put together some pretty cool facts, so we'll do that. Christian, Mike, and I can talk a little trucking with you, and Ian with the news. What's going on with the news in the world of trucking, Ian? And Joel Howell's got an update on sports.
Joel Howell's got a phone call.
Who's that behind you, Joe Burr?
Joe Cool. Going to
Speaking
the
of
Super Bowl.
Joe
This
Cool.
is King Joe Burrow.
Speaking of Joe Cool, last week on the show when I called in, Christian bet me that Cincinnati was going to beat straight up too.
Straight up.
Cincinnati was going to beat Kansas City.
He was
And
right.
I thought no way, and sure as you know what, man, they did. So I owe $50. Kumar,
Easy
write it down.
money.
Thanks, Mahomes.
Easy money.
I owe it to the St. Christopher Fund. So we're already starting to rack up a little money because Christian and I have both thrown in 50, and then what are we up to in there now? Do you know?
Let's see.
That's 100, and plus we've had like 2 or 3 episodes of the 20.
I think we're at like $15,000 now.
Yeah, that seems
Right.
about
You can
right.
send that to my Venmo.
Probably
Twenty.
$150 or $160 probably.
Yeah, so I think we got about $80 on the board.
Plus
Not-
the 250s that one Christian and me. Yeah. You know what's funny is Christian, I was so happy you took that bet because no points. It wasn't the Vegas line, and I thought there's just no way. It's impossible they're going to beat Mahomes, and I thought it's going to be great. Christian's going to have another 50 lost bet in that pool, but man, I was shocked like the rest of the world.
I was driving home that night, and I was like, why did I take that bet? Of all the bets I could have taken, I could have had points or anything.
I
but,
would have gave you the points or taken.
Well, apparently I didn't need
them.
them, so
You didn't need them. Yeah,
I would have been 0-2. So.
it just gets me that
That
Brady
is
money
crazy.
back.
Kansas. It's not like Kansas City played terrible either. I mean, the
No.
Bengals
Second half,
stepped
they did,
up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kansas
Florida
City just
man,
fell
during
apart.
sports, I would love to get your take on what's going to happen to Tampa Bay as they start to tear themselves apart over the next.
Oh, we're done now.
Teddy Bridgewater.
Teddy
Forget about
Bridgewater is
it.
going to take him to another Super Bowl. 20
I
years
pretty
from
much
now.
only
Joe
watch
Namath's
football when the
son.
Bucks are in the playoffs, so I'm back to not watching football.
Well, you know, it could be if Aaron Rodgers doesn't stay in Green Bay, it could be Aaron Rodgers because he wants to play on a stacked team.
Maybe he
And-
wants to go somewhere warm too.
That would be. You know how crazy that would be if Brady
That's
comes
like
here,
best case
wins
scenario.
the Super
Then
Bowl,
Rodgers.
and then
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
It's actually the talk of the sports world, Mike, because I read Bleacher Report every day, and there's the top 3 names, Joel, I think are Bridgewater, Aaron Rodgers, and the kid from who's from Ohio, actually, but he played Trubisky. Mitch Trubisky is a name that's been thrown around.
It kind of
Say that too
sums
loud
up
in Chicago.
Florida, right? Everybody kind of retires and moves to Florida. Like it kind of just sums
Yeah.
it up, right? Brady,
Or Jimmy G.
Gronk.
San Francisco's going to trade Jimmy. So,
You think so?
Yeah, and I think there's no better fit for him. I mean, he was a backup for Brady. They're very similar quarterbacks. He'd fit right in there in Tampa Bay. But I think that's a good possibility. We'll see. When we get to sports, Joel, let us know.
We're about 5 teams with no coaches. So
Yeah.
probably first things first.
Really?
Yeah, there was actually, 9 coach
Yeah.
changes? Yeah. So
I'm
the
gonna
few
let
of
my
them-
brother know. He just won a state champion with his football team.
He's filling
Oh,
out
your
an
brother did?
application.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Right on.
So, what's been going on in Florida, Mike? Anything other than the nice sunshiny weather?
Nope, been cold.
Yeah, that's what
Good
my
time.
mom
Got
said.
down to 30.
Yeah.
We were just
Got
talking
down
about
to
it. So, and by the time the show comes out, we recorded on Wednesday nights, but we're going to get an inch of snow an hour starting tonight at 10 until Friday morning. So on top of the couple feet that's sitting out there, it's going to be fun here. Schools are already canceled. You guys aren't going to get any of that in Roanoke. I think you're a little south of the way it's coming up.
Yeah, I didn't see
Christian.
it coming in here.
Yeah, you're good.
They've had theirs already.
Yeah.
I've been busy down here, but I'll say something when I know more.
Yeah. All right, Gilligan.
It's George
Skipper.
Michael.
Yeah,
Hey,
Skipper. That's
if you
right.
want to leave it, if you want to leave
Or
all that
Leanne.
weather, you are coming up here in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, 17th, we're coming down there.
I was talking to see if Mike's gonna.
Oh, there you go.
See if Mike, you coming?
I
Mike,
flew
you're
up
coming,
to
right?
Beaten Deaton shirt.
That's
Yeah.
it.
The beaten.
Can you print me one of those?
I don't know.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah.
You'll wear it.
I'll give you $100.
Speaking of episode 42, so next week is episode 43. I think we got some special guest lined up. Christian introduced me to him. I'm not exactly sure exactly what he does, but I had a conversation with this guy on the phone. He'll be on next week. Drivers, it's going to be really interesting. He's probably one of the smartest people I ever talked to when it comes to fuel mileage. And I think what he does, and correct me if I'm wrong, Christian.
Yeah.
So he works for several different companies. They hire him, and they put him in a brand new truck, and he hauls loads for a few weeks, and he gives them all the information on fuel at different speeds, how to drive the truck for the optimal fuel mileage. That's what he does.
Yeah.
Right?
So Henry Albert's his name. Albert
Yeah,
Transport is he's the president of his own company, and he was with Team Freightliner on trying to figure out how to run the new trucks most efficiently. And so now he does some outside work for guys that are struggling getting fuel mileages, and a lot of it, prior to where we've come to was it driver behaviors? Were they progressively shifting? I mean, when he came to our Christmas party, we met through National Association of Small Trucking Companies back a long time ago. And I had helped him with a computer issue he had. He said, "You need anything, let me know." I was like, "I'd like you to show up at my Christmas party."
Yeah.
He said, "Done." And then he called and he came, which is really cool. But
he
that's
blew
what he
me
does.
away on the phone when you introduced me to him, and he and I talked for about a half hour, and I was pretty blown away. And I think I know a lot about shifting and fuel mileage and all that. Ray and I have been talking about it. Doty and I have been talking about it for years.
Yeah.
A lot of other drivers. So I think it'll be a really interesting conversation. He said he lands somewhere. He's flying, and then we'll land
He'll be on
shortly
here
before
about
the
five.
show. So that'd be great to have him next week.
Yeah.
Henry Albert. So look forward to that, guys. All right, so let's get on to some sports. Let's jump into it, Joel.
Sports.
Big weekend in sports. We were just talking about it. Speaking of that, the pick'em. Who won and who lost the divisional round?
Okay, unlike Fox, we will not go to a commercial every 2 seconds. All right, on the
Welcome,
on the
trucking
on the
fans.
wild card, you
This
mean?
is sports.
We did wild card last week, so I think we're looking
Divisional
for
round.
Divisional.
Okay, on the divisional round, I have Mr. Kumar.
Kumar
I won.
Yeah.
Well, it's only
I won.
It was only
Me?
2 games to pick.
Yeah. On the conference, congratulations to Ian and Christian, who picked the
least.
2 teams the most. The rest
Yeah.
of us were 1
All
and
right,
1.
so
All right.
Christian and Ian can split the 20 for the Kumar, so it's $10 each, Ian and Christian.
Wait, what happened?
Who you guys lost the pick'em last week.
Oh,
So
did anybody else participate? Because it was
Yeah,
kind of slim
I did.
pickings, right?
yeah,
Oh,
I
really?
did.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I don't think I participated, and I don't think Berkey did either.
Berkey didn't, but Ray was the only one that can catch Berkey. And if you didn't participate, Ray, Berkey's going to win because no
Yeah, I
one else
know.
is close enough to catch him. And he
As a
forgot
matter
to
of
send
fact,
his
he just called me.
Did he?
Yeah, he just called me in right now because I'm on one of his loads, and he was asking me if I'm here for pickup. I told him I'm here on the dock getting loaded, and he asked me about the pickums. I said, yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot about.
So that's
about
gonna-
it to submit it.
That's going to put him into
And
the
he
winner's
said he
circle.
did too.
Yeah.
No, he forgot too.
I
Or,
know,
oh, no,
but
he'll still win. He'll
he's
still win. Yeah, you're right.
If you would have won
Yeah.
this week, Ray, and got another point, and he would have lost, then you're going to win into this weekend tied. But that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and he asked me what my picks were going to be. I was going to go for the Kansas Chiefs and for the Rams, and he said he was too. So
What'd you
yeah,
say?
we would have been
Kansas
tied.
cheese?
Yeah, for the
Kansas
Chiefs and the
cheese.
Rams.
Yeah, I don't know if I picked, but I would have picked I would have lost for sure. So you
The
can probably
Kansas
count me in for.
Chiefs.
for
I mean, I'm
20
sorry, the
because,
Kansas Chiefs, Chiefs and the Rams.
Kansas Chiefs.
because
The Kansas Chiefs,
yeah,
Chiefs and
I would
Rams.
have. I would have lost. I would have picked the Chiefs and the Niners. Just 'cause I don't
Mike
like the
said
Rams.
count him in for 20. Put him on the St. Christopher's for
See,
20.
that's the only
just
thing
for
Russ
no
heard.
reason. I did.
Just brought it up.
For no reason, but put him on there. 20 Mike Doty.
No, because I don't think I filled it out, but I definitely would have
You
picked
forgot.
the Chiefs and I would have picked the Niners. I would have lost.
The Kansas Chiefs.
All right, Joel, let's go. What's going on?
Chiefs.
Can't go wrong.
All right, well, let's go then. Let's talk about. Welcome back to the sports show that talks about fuel mileage. I am your host, Joel Howell, and let's get to some February news and sports. Leading off, the NBA over in the East, our top 4 Chicago, Philly, Miami, and Cleveland. Over in the West, still leading Phoenix Suns, first place, Golden State Warriors, Memphis, and Utah Jazz, respectively. Over in the NHL, in the East, in the Atlantic, the Florida Panthers. In the Metro, the Carolina Hurricanes. Over in the West, in the Central, Colorado Avalanche. And in the Pacific, Vegas Golden Knights. Over in baseball news, we're still in a lockout, 59 days away from spring training and no new collective bargaining agreement yet. NASCAR, this Sunday, February 6th,
You know what I call it?
p.m.
NAPCAR.
NAPCAR.
Watch the first round, go take a nap, wake
Check
up
it
for
out.
the
So
winner.
This is the
circle.
Clash in L.A. This is at the
NAPCAR.
L.A. Coliseum. This is literally like being on a skating ring.
Yeah.
I've seen the track. They're going to go around. I don't know how many makes up 500 miles or how many they're going to do, but it's going to be loud.
I literally could not stay awake during one race. They go around 500 times. I mean,
All
they're
right,
same thing.
We won't talk about that.
Puts
no
me
more.
to sleep every time.
Just kidding. Over in the NCAA top 10 AP men's basketball. Number 10, Kansas Jayhawks, 17-3. Number 9, Duke at 17-3. Number 8, Baylor, 18-3, followed by Arizona, 17-2. Followed by Houston, 18-2 at number 5. Kentucky Wildcats at 17-4. Number 4, Purdue Boilermakers, 18-3 at number 3. UCLA, 16-2. Number 2, Gonzaga, 17-2, and number 1, Auburn still leads the pack at 20-1. Moving over to the NFL now, over in the news.
So we got March Madness coming up in about 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks.
Well, that would be in March.
Yeah.
Really
I'm
happy
excited.
about that.
Maybe we should do
Trivia question.
our
When's March?
pick'em will be over, Joel. Maybe we can get a bracket going or something. That'd be kind of cool.
All right.
Let's do
we'll
Super
do that.
Bowl
I'm not,
score.
I'm not
Yeah,
good at it.
we could do the Super Bowl scores. Tom's on with us. I forgot
Super
about
Bowl
you, Tom.
score.
27-10 final. LA
Who?
Rams.
I want some of that action.
What? 27.
27-10. This guy.
Yeah.
These guys are all on the Burt, Joe Cool wagon.
Can you give me one
Tom.
more point? 18?
Look at him. Who wouldn't be on that wagon?
Well, over the
Pause.
news. So, in the NFL this week, we had Tom Brady's retirement.
Yay!
We also had Ben Roethlisberger.
Brian Flores suing the NFL. The Washington football team finally picks their new nickname.
What is it?
The Commanders.
Really? Washington Commanders. huh?
Commanders.
I didn't hear that.
Garoppolo trade rumors, coaching carousel, and the Denver Broncos are for sale.
So who are they talking to? You said Garoppolo trade rumors. Are they mentioning
We don't
Tampa
know
Bay?
yet. We don't know. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just too early. We don't even have a coach.
Gotcha.
So, over in the Super Bowl, though, the Rams, that's a -4, not 17, Tom. The over-under is 49. That's the 13th of February out in L.A. Rams 12-5 take on the Bengals 10-7. And that is it for sports. Unless someone has any thoughts.
Is anybody taking Tom up on this? Because there was a whole lot of chatter.
I'm with Tom. I think it's going to be a one-sided game. Rams win. Yeah, I'm not a
Or
Bengals
Matthew
fan.
Stafford in his own
That's what it
house.
really is.
Yeah.
Come on.
Stafford was getting smacked and still got up and threw the ball. His hand was bruised and dented, and he was laying it out.
I had drivers,
tough kid.
Christian. I had drivers texting me during that game when Kansas City and Cincinnati game. Well, Ray, you know, you were in one of the group chats when our buddy Stanley texted me. He's like, Russ is like, go Natty. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm from Cleveland, man. That's almost Kentucky. And that's our division rival. I'm not a Bengals fan. I'm a Browns fan.
Oh, you're just mad because they win games.
Sam N texted me, Tom. He thought he got it confused too. Thought I was from Cincinnati. I'm like, no, that's 170 miles from here, and that's a long way when it comes to North and South Ohio.
That was
Joe Burrow's
that
a
was your
better
milk
quarterback.
route.
I want
What's that?
I want the Bengals to win. Screw the
Yeah.
Rams. They knocked us out.
Yeah. I know someone you can bet.
Plus,
I'm with Tom.
I don't know.
like Matt Stafford. I think it's a
But
good
27-10.
I'll roll with
I
it.
do too, but he seems like he tries to give
16,
away
I'll-
big
I'll-
games sometimes. he
Well-
he looks for ways to give them away.
Well, when he was with Detroit, he had a bad team around him. They just didn't have any weapons. So, and I think he made a playoff appearance, didn't he, with Detroit once, Tom? I believe so.
Yeah.
Detroit's been rebuilding since 1957. So,
Yeah.
The city or the team?
the team.
Both.
Oh,
That's why Tom moved to Georgia. He's from Detroit.
yeah,
So-
I give up on the Pistons, the Tigers, all of them,
Yeah.
The bad boys.
and Ford Motor Company.
The only thing he does with Detroit anymore is book freight out of there. So, Tom, speaking of booking freight, how about the flatbed reefer? What have you been doing, seeing? You want to give us a little...
Flatbeds suck.
It's that time of year.
True.
Yeah, especially without tarps.
Reefers
Nate.
are doing good. One pick, one drop. Michigan, Grand Rapids to Orlando, 5,800. And the guys are bouncing back up to northern Mississippi and loading taters and taking them back to Grand Rapids. So that's a $10,000 round with 600 miles of deadhead. Still $4 a mile. Why not?
Yeah.
Florida's not got there yet. We're starting to haul plants in Ferns again out of Miami March 1st. So they're going
Yeah.
to do okay. Even at the $10,000 a round, the drivers are loving it.
I thought
for
Florida.
2,500 miles.
I thought we'd start seeing a little more reefer stuff in Florida. I mean, the rates have come in a little, but
it's okay. But look at, you got 500-600 miles of deadhead to Mississippi.
Yeah.
You got 800 to Michigan. So you got 1,300 for 4 to 4,300 going back up. Florida's paying 28. What would you do?
yeah, I'd go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. And the guys are not killing themselves, and they're still having a $10,000 week, so they can get out of Michigan because a bunch of them are stuck today
Oh yeah.
because of
Well,
the
it's
snow
coming.
and ice they got up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's already hitting up there. Is that what
Last night,
Yeah.
Steve was up there and he said he woke up and couldn't see out his windshield for all the snow. And
It's that
but we
time
haven't
of
been
year.
going to California much. Washington, I've been looking, and the rates are still up really good out there.
Yeah.
I wish I would have had a truck there today in Seattle because I seen one for 15.8. I would have knocked you out of the running, Russ.
Yeah, I was bragging to Tom that Ray, what I did with you, and I got you to 14.5. It took 2 loads on 3,100 miles versus Tom's 1 load at 14.2 on the same miles on 3,100 miles. And yeah, I haven't let him. I've been bragging about that for 2 weeks, Ray.
And that's because we're not counting the one that I left Laredo with. That was paying $3,400 going to Las Vegas.
Nope, but that wasn't in the same week. I'm counting the one from SoCal up to Portland, and then we went Seattle to San Antonio, and that was your week.
You're right. You're right. It wasn't in the same pay period, but literally, I was out of the house. I left the house and came back within 8 days or 9 days.
Yeah, he had that other load in 9 days, which would have made it even better. But good luck,
9
Tom.
days.
You might get me
But-
by springtime, Tom.
I'll get you. I'm fixing. I got this gift in the mail from Florida, and it's got this really cool leaves on it. And
I know what you're talking about.
I'm fixing to put a bend on it this weekend because the stripers, my buddy No Neck Tommy, just pulled one out 72 pounds by the dam by my lake house.
And I've
So
seen a
my-
picture of No Neck Tommy on a boat with Tom catching stripers. Is that what you call them?
That's a damn big striper.
How
yeah,
big?
No Neck Tommy is literally his neck is the size of his shoulders. I mean, he's a big guy. It was funny.
And he's got 22-inch inseams. The guy is built like a friggin' football.
Yeah, he's a big boy. Tom sent me a picture of the fish, and I'm like, "Who's that dude, Tom?" I mean, this guy took up the whole picture. No Neck Tommy. Anyway,
72-pound fish.
and what Tom's talking about is Mike is very handy. Him and his sons with making rods, and he crafted a handcrafted rod for Tom and sent it to him in a. What'd he send it to you in, Tom? Tom was dying laughing. He got it in a sewer pipe.
Sewer pipe.
In the mail.
Tom, that's when I order blanks, when I order rod blanks, that's what they come in sometimes. And I just use the same thing. But yeah, it's just a PVC, just a sewer pipe put together. With,
Tom's like, I got a sewer pipe in the mail from Mike.
Yeah, the UPS man started coming out of the truck, and I thought, what the heck is that? I said, dude, that got to go to the plumbing store. And he goes, no, it's for you, Ed. Oops, sorry about that. And I said, what is it? He goes, it's from Florida. And I said, oh, I know what it is.
It's from the original Florida man.
Yeah. So I'm fixing to go put a bend on it this weekend. And
that means catch
I
a
put
striper, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first seen it, it said Vadnais Striper, but I can't see it. I said Vadnais Stripper. Oh,
yeah, I know. I had to look. I didn't want to. I hope I didn't striper, because I don't fish for them or know much about them, and I had to look up, make sure I was spelling it right.
Yeah, it's cool. It says striper smoker.
But I like.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
My green flowers match my garden, so
that's great. Well, thanks for the update on the reefers, Tom, and good luck on catching me. I've always.
I'll catch you.
As I told
Tom.
Christian, I'm looking at in the rearview mirror now with you too.
Hey, Tom, if No Neck Tommy doesn't mind having his picture shown. I'd love to see how big his neck is.
I'll send a picture to Russ and they can put him on the show.
Yeah, let's do that.
All he wears is bib overhauls.
Yeah,
and
that's what I saw.
And Crocs, and it is. He even's got a pair of John Deere Crocs like you do, the color.
Yeah, send the picture that you sent me, Tom, with him. You and him, I think, was holding the big striper.
Yeah. This guy is
He's huge.
a hunt fish fanatic. I've never seen anybody that is a sportsman like this dude is, because that's all he does. He's got an air conditioner service, but he just stays in the woods and in a boat like you wouldn't believe.
Christian, maybe
the
we
guy
can
is
make
good.
No Neck Tommy the guy on the teeter-totter.
100%. Yeah, he would hang it there too, wouldn't he?
He'll be famous.
When Ian comes down here in the spring, I'm going to take him fishing with us with No Neck, and
I'm scared.
Ian will be amazed.
The fish will be bigger than me.
Ian, they call Ian up here All Neck Ian.
Well,
I got enough neck.
He
for the
better
both
hang
of us.
on, because if we get him hooked up on one of those stripers, he'll have his knees and his toes up against the.
Yeah. Ian weighs 150 pounds, Tom. The stripers weigh that. I think you better hold on to him.
150 pounds is
They're
generous.
just
Thank you.
Yeah.
Powerful fish, so he'll have fun.
Yeah.
Couple shots of shine and away we go, dude. That's breakfast in the morning, 6 a.m.
That's
Two
great.
shots of this stuff, and you're all warm and fuzzy out in that heat, and you'll be you might not go back home.
So check this out. Jim Mackey, are you with us?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, check this out.
Hold on. You going over?
Yeah.
Zach, I have
he's got
presentation.
Jim Mackey. He's going to put up the screen share. The history of trucking, Jim Mackey, 1896 to 1920 is the period we're going to talk about here for a minute. But do you remember, Jim, when Gottlieb Daimler converted a horse-drawn cart to be fitted with a rear-mounted 4-horsepower 2-cylinder engine? He designed from a modified passenger car engine for Jim Mackey to drive.
Who would name their child that?
Well, to be honest with you, I don't remember that. That's a little before my time.
I know. I just I'm messing with you.
Well, and the good news is you also don't have to remember to put air in those tires either.
Right. Yeah, PSI. That's one of the questions with Kumar. What was the PSI on those tires?
It was a hotter
Yeah,
cold.
but one thing you do have to remember is greasing the wheels.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
bearings.
yeah. Man, those things, I bet you they went through bearings like crazy. I
don't think there was bearings. There was just grease on the shaft.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
You might be right.
No jack.
I know one of my uncles who's long gone, passed away years ago, told me that my grandfather used to make bearings in their garage or barn. And I didn't know my grandfather, but when he was a kid, my grandfather used to make bearings for their automobiles. And I can't really, it's probably going to be like the 50s, 40s is the era I'm talking about. But he said, yeah, people would come, they just cast them and in a mold, and they would go through them in like a week or so. They needed more bearings. It was that's how it was back then. Anyway, so that is the 1896. The truck is born. 1900, Mack Truck was founded. Jack and Gus Mack from Brooklyn, New York, founded the company that would come to be known as Mack Trucks. That's pretty cool. I like that.
So here's something that you might not know about Mack trucks. Did you know the difference between the silver and the gold dog on the hood?
No.
The gold dog signifies that all the parts are made in the U.S.
Huh.
The silver one has imported parts.
Wow.
I didn't know that. That's very interesting.
All right. Next up, we got
Wait, that guy's name was Jack Mack?
Jack
Mack.
Mack. Jack the Mack.
And Gus.
All right. So, and then now we're in 1901, and that's when drivers started to unionize. At the beginning of the century, drivers worked 12 to 18-hour days, often 7 days a week, and they were usually only paid $2 a day in dangerous conditions with no protection or job security, and were liable for damages of broken good and wow.
Of broken
I messed
goods. You got it.
We're liable for damages and broken goods. And
so that's like the 5 Points of New York. Do you guys ever see that movie? What's the name of that movie,
No.
Christian? The 5 Points. There's a movie.
Kings.
Where that's the battle of where they started to unionize companies, and that's where the 5 boroughs. But it was.
I know the
forget
5 boroughs. Was that the one Leonardo DiCaprio was in?
Yes.
Oh, Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York.
Gangs of New York.
So this was about that time in that area where this started.
And then there were about 1,700 fed-up drivers that came together, and they formed the Team Drivers International Union to organize for better wages and work conditions.
Which is the Teamsters.
Woo! Well, it turned into the Teamsters a year later.
Oh, okay.
Because the Teamsters, they were getting too big and basically completely drowning out Team Drivers International Union. So they decided to then merge in 1903.
Gotcha. So 1903 was when the Teamsters was formed.
Yeah.
In 1905, Montgomery Ward, Chicago strike. The Teamsters united and virtually every union in Chicago to strike against unfair labor practices. The walkouts and strikes soon involved thousands of workers and affected the entire city. With the backing of powerful business interests, police engaged in a brutal campaign of violence against the workers, leaving 21 dead and hundreds injured. The strike was ended after 100 days.
Yeah. And then 1907, the Teamsters elected Dan Tobin as their general president. He was in his early 30s at the time and was an Irish immigrant, and he was known to be very tough and controversial and a visionary leader, and he grew the organization from 40,000 members to more than 1.2 million members.
Speaking of Irish mobsters, there's a guy, Danny Green from Cleveland, and they made a movie about him recently. It's called To Kill an Irishman or Kill an Irishman. Has anyone seen that?
Yeah, Kill the Irishman. Or
Kill
whatever.
the Irishman, yeah. It happened here. It's a true story, and it happened in the 70s here in Cleveland, where there was, like, every week you'd hear about a car bomb going off somewhere in, like, the east side of Cleveland.
Oh, yeah.
Murray Hill area, Little Italy over there. It was the Irish and the Irish and the Italians and the Jewish people weren't, they were just clashing. So it was car bombs everywhere. That's a good movie. And it's a true story. Yeah. Go ahead, Kumar.
Yeah, and then last thing, he served for 45 years until 1952.
That's Dan Tobin?
Yep.
Yeah. So 1912, as the history of trucking moves on, Teamster drivers make the first transcontinental delivery. 1912, a 5-man crew of Teamster drivers from Charles W. Young Company of Philadelphia departed for Petaluma, California. This was a question with Kumar, too, I think, at one point that Joel had.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was a while back.
It was the honors.
Yeah. They were carrying 3 tons of Parrot brand olive oil without any maintained roads and comforts afforded to drivers today. The team arrived at City Hall in San Francisco 91 days later. Wasn't that the question? Ray, do you remember that?
This.
Or Jim? It was how long did it take them? That's what the question was.
I thought it was the Marine. I thought that was the Marine question. Their first convoy.
I got it
Oh, it
wrong.
might
I
have
remember
been.
the answer, but
It might have
man,
been.
91 days on 6,000 pounds.
Yeah. Of carrying 3
It was
tons
the
of...
Army question.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
But they were carrying Parrot brand olive oil.
Get that pushed down if you need.
Wow.
91 days. And if you miss that appointment, you're going to have to sit for 30 days.
Yeah.
To get rescheduled.
Robert Shelby, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, hoping it wasn't a Walmart.
This began
Or
the
Best Buy.
Yeah, it was. This began the era of over-the-road trucking. 1914 and 1915, the modern truck emerges. Can you go over that, Kumar?
Yeah, so 1914, Otto Neumann and August Fruhoff invented the semi-trailer. And then in 1915, Herman Farr and Martin Rocking invented the fifth wheel, which you guys know, right? You guys know what the fifth wheel is, right?
You just learned. Kumar's catching on.
Yeah, so that I think the fifth wheel is to make it easier to hitch and unhitch, right?
It's the only way to hitch and
Yeah.
unhitch.
The only way. That's
Yeah.
what I meant to say.
Makes it easier to turn too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I? You know what? I got a question about that. That 6,000 pounds of olive oil.
Yeah.
How could that be financially feasible and realistically if it took you 91 days to travel across the country?
Well, where else are they going to
it-
get it?
Yeah,
I mean,
back
how
then you
much
gotta-
would it sell for?
A lot.
Yeah, I would think if they're going to California, I would think, man, and
It's just mind blowing because I can't see how
Well,
you'd be
and
hauling sitting on a product for 91 days.
And it's hard to say. I mean, that was the start of trucking,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
also it's hard for us. This is 2022. It's hard for us to even imagine the current, like what the money was like back in the early 1900s. Like,
So fuel wasn't $6.
right, and how much? Yeah, and how much
they
was
probably running kerosene?
Yeah, how much was a double bacon cheeseburger at the truck stop? I mean, it definitely wasn't the same as it is today.
Right.
Yeah, but
So
what
that-
I think
I
about
was
is
curious.
they said that there was no roads.
Right, that's the challenging part.
That when I go down the road, I look at the terrain, and I look, and I'm thinking, how did they make it through here with horse and wagon?
On
let
a dirt
alone
road or
vehicle like
Very
that.
Yes.
carefully.
I think that all the time. I think of that all the time.
Yeah.
Some of the terrain I see.
Yeah, I think I read this this book on the Donner Party, and it was saying like just there were days when they wouldn't even get like a mile. Like they would spend all day and they wouldn't even get a mile. And
When they were trying to cross the pass, when
Yeah.
it was
just like crossing America.
oh,
in
before they
general.
got to Donner's.
Yeah, and I'm assuming Route 66 wasn't available at that time either.
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
plus you got to think too. The maps were even different. Like how accurate did it show the terrain? So really,
The only map they had is Lewis and Clark's.
Yeah, the drivers were the ones that updated the map.
They made
I'm
the
sure.
map.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I
They
bet
made,
you a lot
yeah,
of it,
they made copies and passed them on to their buddies.
yeah,
What
and
were
a
you
lot
gonna
of it was
say,
probably
Christian?
meets and bounds. Like turn at the red,
Yeah.
the red post or the oak
Taking
tree.
notes and using a compass. You're going west. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
that's it.
Follow
Yeah.
the sun.
I can remember taking a load to North Carolina.
With a
It was
compass.
going to a water treatment plant. And I called the guy for directions. And he says, well, go down this, I forget the road now, but go down this road till, well, you remember that barn that burnt down 2 years ago on the corner?
I remember
That's
this
where
story.
you turn at and go to the big oak tree. We're about a half a mile down there, piece.
Yeah.
About half a mile.
Past the
I
big
said,
oak
"Can
tree.
somebody come get me?"
You didn't turn at the poplar, did you?
Yeah.
When you
No.
hear the beehives, make a left and make 100
Yeah.
paces.
He's still there trying to figure out the difference between a birch and a oak tree. 1918, Maine sets first weight limit rules. The state of Maine enacted a law prohibiting any truck weighing more than 18,000 pounds to travel its roads. That's interesting.
That figures.
No trucks. Yeah, that figures. No trucks over 7,000 pounds, empty weight. Hey, before we get on this last one, speaking of the DOT, one of our drivers called in today. I just want to throw it out there. He passed a scale house. He has a pre-pass that he has in his truck, and
It had fallen.
It had fallen, and he didn't realize it, and he passed. Didn't realize he got the red light to go in. He missed the scale house. So by the time he was able to get off the highway, it was 45 minutes or so down the road, and he calls in here, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Is it CSA points? Is it fines? I said, well, I did it once in Oregon, and I thought they were going to come after me, and I just missed it, and it was in the middle of the night, and I went up good 30 minutes out of the way just to be able to turn around and come back, and I told him, I said, I went back, and I went and I pulled, I went through the scale, and I pulled in and parked. I grabbed my permit book, and I walked in, and I told him I missed it. I'm sorry. He goes, no worries. He goes, well, go ahead. We weighed you when you came in this time, bud. He goes, but we were going to send you a fine and stuff in the mail. We had your plate. And so I said, I think I'd go back. But I did call Stacy in safety. And, I called Trish, and I got, what's her name?
Brittany.
Brittany. I got Brittany and Stacy and I talked about it. there's fines. So he would have got fined, and it's possible, depending on the state, he could have got CSA points. So we told him, well, hold tight. We're going to call the place, but I think you need to go back. Ian found the number. I called the DOT place, and the guy said they basically, I said, this is Metal Lark. They knew he had passed it because they got pictures and they write it down. And he said, well, no, don't make him come back. He said, just tell him to, make sure he stops next time. Do the right thing next time, but tell him we'll let him go this time. So I was shocked, actually, that they'd said that. I thought for sure he's going back. And he was an hour away. So I told Brittany, not all the DOT's that bad. I mean, that guy was pretty nice to us and pretty nice to our driver. Didn't make him go back an hour.
Yeah, plus, I mean, you made the call. So, I mean, there's effort.
I wanted him to know. We're
it's only
coming
certain
back.
states. Yeah, it's only certain states that'll actually do that.
Yeah.
The majority of the Midwest, that doesn't happen, but like in some states, West Coast, they'll write you a ticket.
This was in Arkansas, so kudos to Arkansas DOT. They did him right. They did us right today. Appreciate that.
I can remember one time I was with my cousin learning how to drive, my training program, and we was in Florida. And he turned to me and he said, was that scale open or was it closed? I said, I don't know. Well, the truck ahead of us went right on by, so we did too. Well, they come out and chased us down. Of course, this is all before pre-pass and everything. And I'll never forget what that DOT man said to us. You don't never go past an open scale without costing you money.
Yeah. I was scared. I'll be honest with you. I was kind of a rookie driver when that happened to me in Oregon. And, you work so hard to get your CDLs. Me and Joel spent 30 days in a trashy school we called the hotel, the Alamo. It was bad. That's a whole nother show. Yeah, we'd go. I'm going to tell you this real quick. There was a bunch of workers that were traveling, like construction workers, staying at the same hotel. And we knew that we had to take drug tests throughout our school. And remember, Joel, we'd walk back in the hotel after 12 hours in the yard or in class, and we had to literally hold our breath to get from in the hallway to our room because all these construction workers were smoking weed in their rooms, and the whole hotel smelled like it. Yeah, and we'd hold our breath and get in our room and not leave, and then we called it the Alamo. But I don't know how I got on that subject. Yeah, I was like, I'm not failing the drug test. I've worked hard. But anyway.
You got to keep your mouth closed so you don't swallow pills by accident either.
Yeah. We got one more. 1920. What happened?
All right. So the pneumatic air-filled tires become standard. Nice. Even though pneumatic air-filled tires were around for years before 1920, most trucks were still riding on solid rubber tires. And by 1920, most trucks had pneumatic air-filled tires. And these tires obviously allowed for greater speed and much smoother ride.
So there you have it. The first 20 years, is that, first 24 years? 24 years of trucking, what the information that we could dig up. We're going to do another segment in the next week or two. We're going to go over it, slowly over the next month or so to get to current. So if anybody has any ideas, any drivers out there, things over from we'll do 1920 to 1940 something maybe in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So you guys got something, just text it to the show, text it to Christian, Kumar, myself, Mike, anyone. Kevin finally made it in. Kevin, how's it going?
It's going all right.
Yeah. You're at home and done, I said earlier, right?
Yeah, I'm at home. Yeah,
when
I'm at home.
Leaving? When you getting out?
I got jury duty tomorrow.
Oh, I knew something was up. That's right. So you have to go in for jury duty?
Oh, I got a call when I get back to the house, but I'm going to try to get out of it.
I had it last year, and I called every morning or the night before, I forget, and I didn't have to go in. I think it had to do with they were doing a lot of remote court and stuff, but, man, I was glad every night when they said, no need to report.
Yeah, I had it in early January. I was up for jury duty, and then ended up they canceled everything because of the bad weather, so I was pretty happy about that the whole week.
We were talking about when the unions and in trucking, when it started, I was watching a documentary this probably a week or so ago about Jimmy Hoffa and I think that we'll end up covering this later, but it's pretty interesting. That's really what he was organizing, was truckers, for the most part, from what I saw on there, and then disappeared. But anyway, that'll probably be a good segment when we get into that. Mm-hmm. So, Christian, you got anything?
I got a couple things here. I don't know if you can hear me. My mic's giving a little feedback. You can hear me all right?
You're a little low.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me quiet.
Pull that up.
It's because you got younger. Your voice got softer.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. It's Christian.
I'm back.
Dr. Pepper.
I went back to pre-puberty levels.
So last week, right?
One.
Okay.
Today's occupancy.
Oh, man.
Bro, if that voice came out of this body, that'd be something else, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
All right, everybody see everything?
Talking dirty.
Yeah.
All right. Talking dirty. That's funny. So covered a couple guys as far as occupancy. Complete transparency, I put Bernard's wrong week in here. He was going back towards the house, so Bernard Bellinger's is this week's runs, not last week's. But, from last part of last week, he came from Utah, and so that's where we pick up with Bernard for this past week. He delivered into Charleston, South Carolina, 11,500 on 2,234 miles. He lives in this area, so likely he went home or something obstructed the next day delivery. And then he delivered into Beaufort, Georgia. I didn't get the details from the team, but $13,000 week.
It's a nice week.
It's a very nice week.
Didn't beat me though, Christian. Me and Ray, 14-5.
He did not, but maybe he's up for the challenge to see if that can happen now.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see.
Bring it.
I'll put his target up about 15-5, 16-2, and we'll see if he can bring it. But
Hey,
great.
Kumar, can you turn his volume up in post? Will you be able to? Because you're.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to know before. So he'll be able to turn you up after.
Okay, cool.
Huh?
Is that any better?
What? No.
It's about the same, but he can handle it in
All
post.
Right. Rock and roll. We'll just go to the next thing. So then Darnell Davis, as you know, we cover him. He's in Illinois, his home. So he came out of home, delivered in Wisconsin, and then Minnesota, Nebraska, went back to Wisconsin, and then Indiana. Again, that strong Midwest feel. Going to enjoy a whole lot of lovely weather, but he'll be back home again this weekend like he was Saturday the 29th. 115% occupancy-based revenue, 5-day runs. 7,800 total gross, short of his target.
Still respectable, though.
Oh, yeah.
You can make money at that. Yeah.
Yep. Justin Boyd, 7,200. He ended up delivering into Georgia, did North Carolina, went back to Ohio, and down to West Virginia. His delivery, that South Carolina delivered on Sunday, and that was a big drop. So part of his revenue from this week, from those 2 days, Friday and Saturday, actually dropped on Sunday. So that'll pick up for him for next week. Still did about 100% as far as occupancy-based revenue versus occupancy. Did $7,200 on a $7,500 target, $4.24 a mile. Driver A here on our fleet did the Macungie. I thought this was interesting. We covered it last week. Macungie, Pennsylvania delivery, out of Virginia, back to Pennsylvania, back to North Carolina, short one up into Virginia, and then brought down to Georgia and stretched their legs from there. So $12,000 week on a dry van. $9,500 was the target. Far exceeded that. $5.18 a mile on 2,300 miles. So that was.
He's staying in the the Northeast too. Are you seeing that's still hot like we were last week, Mike and Christian?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is good. We can keep it there for as long as we want. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. And I'm curious, Mike. Last week you had Dalla up there in Maine. What did you end up? Because I remember you said that there was like 3,000 loads over the next few days you were looking at. What did you end up getting him out of there?
As a matter of fact, I just pulled him up. And before we get into that, Christian, this I don't even know what to call it. This format you use here for your occupancy-based revenue.
Yeah.
Is there can you send me that so I could plug in a couple of drivers each week and use the same format?
Yeah, it's just an Excel document I made. Yep. I'll send it on over to you. And it's actually got some other graphs in it that tell you about the total performance of your fleet as well. So I can send it on over to you. It tracks individual dispatcher profitability, how many loads they booked, all that stuff. So yeah, I can send it over.
Okay, cool. Appreciate it.
Oh yeah.
And then, yeah, Dalla, he's been running up in the Northeast. So here's just his last couple loads. What did he do? He did from PA down to South Carolina, 565 miles. I got him 2295 there. Then he went North Carolina back up to Maine. He did 3950 there on 940 miles.
That was what took him to Maine, and then
and then out of Maine, Maine to South Carolina, back to South Carolina. I got 3380 on
900 miles maybe.
No, it was 1100 miles.
I was texting Mike on, was it Friday, Mike, about the weather. I'm like, it's, they were about to get slammed up there, and I think he made it out just in time.
No, he was a trooper. It's still, so he had a great week, and it cost him about a day, a little less, but
from the
can't
weather.
Complain about that. Yeah, it really cost him about 10 hours, about a 10-hour break. But I think he was able to get a 34 in because of it.
What about your guy, Christian, last week that runs up that way? Did he get stuck in have any weather problems with that storm that rolled through?
No, and thankfully we had some people from Ohio go up to me as well with a customer account. We were throwing extra money. We took the load, and she came back, Megacorp, and said, "Hey, we know what he's going to be dealing with. It may end up being an issue. Here's some extra money."
Yeah,
super cool about it. In and out, not a problem. So that all worked out well. It doesn't always when you get weather up there too.
Yeah, I would have hit him harder if I would have booked Robbie. Well, I booked him before that storm. We knew that storm was coming. Booked him out of the house, but yeah, I forget what I got him. He got a good rate too, out of Missouri, I think it was, to Massachusetts. That's it. But now I don't know. He's going to be stuck. There's this next storm rolling in. He's been driving ahead of it, but
it's going to catch up to him.
Yeah. Now he's got to make the turn. I got to load him out of Massachusetts. See what, I don't even know what to do with him there. But yeah, the Northeast has really been hot for the past 2 or 3 weeks.
With this storm, Mike, Friday, the snow's going to stop on Friday morning at some point. So, and you know how it is up north, man. We keep the roads clean and salted, and so probably by Friday afternoon, I mean, it'll be smooth sailing again. I'm hoping up here with the roads, and so
what I was going to try to do, and man, I tried to book it early. There was another load from Maine to Vegas. They had it posted at 8,100.
Nice.
And it was I don't want to say the name. It was a broker where several times we've showed up and the load has either been gone or
so that's
not.
a tough one.
Yeah, and it was about 150 mile deadhead, and I was like, man, I don't know. So I hit him a little higher, and he said he'd get back to me, and he never did.
Yeah,
so,
sometimes
I was skeptical about it anyway.
Sometimes we keep the rate the same, but then we jack up the TONU, saying, "Hey, if this load's not ready, it's $600 for the 150 miles we're going to drive." The rate's still the same, but we want to let you know the TONU if we've had issues with your customer not picking up. So that way you can still get the freight, but you can also push them to make sure that they call their customer and say, "Hey, this stuff needs to be here."
That's a really good idea when you have a bigger deadhead.
Yeah,
you're not sure.
I thought about that as well. If they when they got back to me, I thought about asking them, are any loads going forward, booking with them, because then it kind of gives you the idea too, if they're not willing to give a little bit more on the TONU, they're not too confident. They're not too confident in that load either.
Right. Yeah.
So.
And
to finish it out, I've got.
Go ahead, Christian.
Yeah, I've got Bill here. He did $9,100 gross. Company truck, home every weekend, standard time off here. So he did exceptionally well as well. I mean, if you look at the time off map, the guys that were making money, majority of them were out and were working or in good areas. We had a driver that was on the McCunchie, Pennsylvania run out of Virginia. It's like 300 some odd miles, so it's just shy of $8 a mile. Next day delivery, and they said they didn't want to be on it. They said, we don't think that's a good piece of freight in the market. And my eyes rolled back and took it personal for a second before I said, okay, maybe it's the area that he's running. He doesn't want to go up 81, from Dublin up to Macungie. So we didn't make a big stink about it, but it's interesting that we have a market and it's all day freight. You can just grab one, come on back and grab another. And when you're winning both ways, it's really hard to have a conversation with a guy where he doesn't want to go, and that's fine. We respect it, but by the way, there's going to be a disclaimer that says there's a whole lot of weather coming, and anywhere that you travel right now, you're likely going to hit it. You can see that we ran pretty much the same areas for last week, though, mostly Mid-Atlantic, little Midwest and Southeast, except we had the truck from Bernard came on over from Utah.
Stretch it out west a little bit.
That's it, exactly.
So yeah, once we get No Neck Tommy's picture, maybe we can go back to the teeter-totter guy at the end of your stuff, Christian.
I will update that with Tommy No Neck. Yeah.
Kind of miss that guy, don't you guys? So this week's Trucking Questions with Kumar, we figured out that Ian and Kumar? No, Ian and Christian tied with last. So Ian pays.
I think that's debatable. I want to see.
Well, you're paying. Ian's paying $10 and Christian's paying $10 if Kumar loses.
Not till I see the sheet.
Wait. Can we change who we bet on here? Because he kind of smacked everybody around last week.
You want the drivers then, you guys? I don't care. You can take my drivers this week.
I think knowing the questions, it doesn't matter this week.
Okay.
It's going to be 50-50, I think.
You guys get Kumar then. So these questions this week, guys, Joel wrote some of them. Christian sent some in. They're pretty good. I like them. And drivers, if you guys got questions for Kumar that you want us to ask on next week's show, or you send them in. Joel told me today, he goes, man, almost a year of doing this, I'm running out of questions. That's funny.
Do sports only. Huh?
Yeah.
If you just took your slideshows and didn't show anybody ahead of time, we could come up with all sorts of material.
Yeah. So send questions. If you're on the Dawson fleet, send some questions into Christian. He'll get them into the show. If you're on the Deaton fleet, send questions into your dispatcher or whoever. We're all here on the show. If you're at Meadowlark, email them to us. So yeah, let's get some. We need some help there, and make them hard. Joel had one question and was like, "What's colder, or what's slipperier, ice or B, more ice, or C, ice with water on it?" And I'm like, "No, Joel, we got to get rid of this."
Get rid in context.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we go. Trucking questions with Kumar.
All right. Kumar, what's up?
Yo, not much. What about you?
Here we go.
Drivers, you ready? You got your thinking caps on?
Questions with Kumar.
That's right.
Question number uno. Out of these trucking abbreviations, which one is for a type of insurance? Is it A, an LTL? Is it B, a PTL? Is it C, an FTL? Is it D, an NTL? Or is it E, a CMB? Which?
We got an extra letter.
So out of those abbreviations,
we're gonna do the whole alphabet.
They're one of them stands for trucking.
22 more.
Insurance in the trucking industry. Read the abbreviations one more time.
Okay, A is LTL.
LTL.
B is PTL. C, FTL. D, NTL. Or E, CMB.
Let's go E.
CMV.
Wait, is it C and B, or is
C,
it
CMV?
Oh. C.
Type of insurance.
Let's go with A then.
LTL.
LTL.
Okay, drivers.
Little.
Jim Mackey.
LTL.
What was that one? FNT?
No, so read. It's LTL, the type of trucking insurance. LTL. PTL. What was the next one, Joel? FTL.
Or NTL. Or CMB.
FTL is what I'd say.
NTL, you said?
F is
FTL.
FTL.
Okay. Drivers, Ray, you got an idea?
Well, no, that's not.
I'll say it.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with NTO.
Yeah.
No, we went FTL. That was the answer.
Okay,
that
so
was the answer.
they lose.
They both lost.
Ray was right. It's non-trucking liability, NTL. Christian texted that to me yesterday, and I knew it right away, and I was texting him back it was D was the NTL one he had, and I'm trying to text him, and he already sent me the answer like real quick. I'm like, I knew it.
That was on my mind.
Christian, you're muted.
Yeah, it's also on your truck. Anyway, so no one gets a point, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So now Jim can't answer the next one. It's somebody else.
Okay, so Ray's up next. We'll go Ray against
the challenge
Kumar.
flag. You can only use it.
Trucking questions with Kumar and Ray.
Question 2. In what year was the Motor Carrier Act approved by Congress? Was it A, 1982, B, 2009, C, 1951, or D, 1935? Looking for a year that the Motor Carrier Act was approved by Congress.
I'm gonna go
This
with Coon
question
first.
for me.
It's for Coom first, but you're up, Ray. Yes, as soon as Kumar answers.
Was that was 1982?
1982, 2009, 1951, or 1935?
82.
He says 1982. Ray, what year was it?
I'll go with 51.
51. Ray's closer. It's
Doesn't matter.
1935. No
Jim's
one
date.
got a
Oh
point.
man, this
Jim's
is
date of birth.
These are tough
We
questions.
should have saved that one for Jim. He would have got it.
Jim was there.
It's not the date of birth. It's the year they were approved. Never mind. Question 3.
What driver are we doing here?
This is Kevin.
Kevin or
Kevin,
Nate?
All right.
you're up.
Kevin.
All right.
What's the longest stretch of interstate in the country?
It's a good question.
Is it I-90? Is it I-80? Is it I-70? Is it I-40?
Longest stretch of
Coon
interstate.
first.
Driver. Longest stretch of interstate. I-90, I-80, I-70, or I-40. What do you say, Kumar?
I-90.
He says I-90. What do you say, Kevin?
I'm gonna go with 40.
40. The belly of America. All the way across. If the belly was rounder, yeah. No, it is I-90.
Yeah.
Is it really?
Kumar got one. Yeah,
Nice.
think about it. You're all the way up there in the
3,100.
yes, 3,100 miles, all the way up there in what, Maine?
Yep.
Yeah, I know, but for some reason I thought it. I thought it met 80 though. I was thinking 980.
I was thinking 82.
Yeah. I never would have guessed 90.
Well, Kumar did, and he got one, so it's 1-0, Kumar.
No, 82 is not that long.
So, all right, Nate Garner's up. Nate's in Greensboro, North Carolina. I can't even talk like him. North Cackalack.
Pretty sure he's got this.
Nate, you ready?
I'm ready.
Nate,
Bring it, Nate. Come on, we got to get this.
When doing a pre-trip on a coupled tractor trailer.
On a coupled tractor trailer. Do you know what that is, Kumar? They're connected.
Yeah, that's what
Okay.
I was guessing.
When looking into the fifth wheel gap, you should A, make sure the jaws are fully open, make sure the jaws are fully closed, make sure the jaws are loose and have play, make sure the depth sensor light is lit up.
Make sure the jaws are closed.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Are you positive about that?
Not positive.
100% positive. You're not positive? You want to change the answer?
You can change it if you want.
I'm going with that one.
You sure it's not the depth sensor light?
Okay, hold on. So
So
repeat
there's a
the question
light.
again. Repeat the question again.
All right.
All right, so when you're doing your pre-trip on a coupled tractor trailer, when looking into the fifth wheel gap, you should make sure the jaws are fully open, fully closed, are loose and have play, or the depth sensor light is lit up.
Fully closed. We're staying on that.
And Nate?
Same.
He's right. Nate knew. He does those pre-trips.
I was
every
trying
day.
to fake him
got
out.
it right, it's his.
They almost had you talked out of it, Coon.
I know.
Oh no, I that sounded like the most logical answer.
I threw in the depth sensor light. I was
laughed.
hoping when I wrote that, I was hoping God, I hope he picks that.
Depth sensor light.
Okay, so
All right.
he's got one more. It's 2-0. Let's go, Joel.
All right, last chance, fancy pants. Question 5. What kind?
Hey, wait. We've went through our 4 drivers, so we're gonna just go back to Jim Mackey since he's
come
the
on.
oldest in the room.
We can do Ian.
No,
He doesn't see him.
he's been in trucking too long.
He won't know this.
He's seen him. Anyway, Jim Mackey, are you ready?
Yeah.
Gotta get one
Johnny.
against Kumar here.
Jim, what kind of fluid do you put in your truck that is used in the diesel particulate filter system to burn off emissions? Is it A? Is it STP fluid? Is it B? Is it 10W40 fluid? Is it C, DEF, or is it D, diesel fluid?
What do you say, Kumar?
What was first? What was A again?
STP fluid.
STP fluid. Let's go with that.
Jim, what is it?
Pilot.
I got an easy question. All right. Death fluid.
Death fluid. Yeah. All the rest are fake. STP fluid, 10W40 fluid.
Scott Weiland will come back to life if you put that in your truck.
Nickelback fluid.
Yeah. I'm glad we got him on that. Even though that's the fifth question, and it's 2-1. We got that one, so we still lose.
Yep.
So that means I pay. Drivers, I got to pay again. So 20, Deaton. You got lucky, Ian, and Christian.
How many times have you done that today?
So we got non-CDLs answer questions and non-sports people getting all the football stuff.
So sports fans and trucking fans, send in your trucking questions with Kumar. Help us out.
You know whose money spends the best?
Other people's.
Yours does, Russ. Yours does.
I'm about to find out in Roanoke on the 17th.
Oh, my word. Are you ever?
Yeah. I've been putting, you know what I've been doing? I've been day trading a little bit of Bitcoin here and there, trying to build something up so I can pay for this.
You better hope that blockchain doesn't fall before you get here, man.
Right.
Could you imagine?
It's been slipping.
I already pulled it out. Anyway, so yeah. 17th, we're going to drive down to Roanoke, and we're going to fulfill our bet. That's from the Freight Club
I'm gonna eat so much
picture on the
cookout.
wall.
A year later.
And yeah, that's going to be a good time to spend with Christian and the Dawson staff at their office. And I think Christian invited half my fleet already. So Ray, if he can make it, he can get a load there. I'll buy your dinner to Ray and Kevin and Nate and Jim.
Wonder if I gave
Trish
$100 if she sent it out over the Qualcomm.
No, and Doty's. We're trying. I think Doty might fly up. I don't know. I asked him, but he's got some things going on. He might not be able to, and he'll tell you about that later. He can't right now. It's a secret.
Christian, just so you know, I do have the ability to send an entire fleet-wide message to all of Metal.
We're not doing that.
Just so you know.
Everybody's gonna be.
You'll have to pay me $100.
Our whole fleet's gonna be parked at the Dawson yard.
Got plenty of room, guys. Come on down.
That's the case I'm running, man.
$25,000 dinner bill.
We're not going to the steakhouse. We're
going to cookout.
We're going to McDonald's. We're going to McDonald's.
The whole fleet. That's still gonna hurt, man.
What were you saying, Ray?
Yeah, I was gonna say Russell and Ian, go ahead and book me there.
All right, we'll do it.
I'll make sure he's booked on the West Coast. I'm trying to limit my bill.
Isn't he coming to PA? He doesn't have that far of a drive from there.
Yeah, but he's going to be too early though.
He can hang out.
Yeah,
He won't.
I got to get home for a new Omni head anyways. So.
Yeah.
They can mail that here. They can overnight that to Cherokee Street if they need to.
Yeah, it's already at my house. It showed up today.
We'll overnight it from there.
Yeah.
So bam.
I like that history of trucking. That's pretty cool, Kumar.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the next 20 years of trucking when we do it next week or the week after. We'll do it every other week.
Okay.
Ian, so what's going on in the world of trucking news?
I forgot about this part.
Yeah, we got a couple things. I just want to go over the Loves real quick. They added like 38 new locations.
The one by our
2021.
place is almost open.
It's almost open. They got the Speedco sign up. Everything's ready to go.
They got Taco John's.
Taco John's. I'm excited to have more of a variety of taco places around here.
Some stock.
I don't personally think it's as good as Taco Bell, but that's just me.
Del Taco?
Ooh, Del Taco's good.
I like some Del Taco.
Del Taco's
we don't have that here, do we?
No.
It's in Toledo.
Wait, really?
Closest one. Yep.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, there's probably some, either south.
They got Cactus?
They got it in Roanoke?
Yeah, we have two different places. We have Tuco's Tacos and another place. They're really good.
There you go, Russ.
Do you have Taco John's in
No, we
Roanoke?
don't. No, but these places are like local homemade joints. It's unbelievable.
You have Jack in the Box?
He has Chester's chicken.
No,
that's West Coast.
Do you have Barberton chicken?
Taco One has Cactus.
All right. So next thing we got for the news. We're always hearing about, safety when it comes to electronics in the truck, not being distracted, whether it's, phones, GPS, radios. there was a driver who was eating something and started to choke, which he lost control and ran into the barrier. So,
what do you mean he ran into the barrier? Like a Jersey barrier?
Struck the cable barrier. So just like I would imagine on the side, either in the median or it's to the left side of the interstate. So yeah, the median. So it caused a trailer to overturn too. Oh, he must have had doubles. So wow, yeah.
Eating when driving can be dangerous, and I'm not gonna lie, I've done it many times. But
I wonder how many people have been issued tickets for eating while driving. Because I'm sure, if you're going across the lines, they can get you for that. Doesn't matter what you're doing.
Keep flipping trucks, you know.
Yeah.
Get in an accident and you still got a Big Mouth in your Mac, a Big Mac in your mouth.
Big Mouth in your Mac.
Yeah.
And then there was a truck, which I didn't think we'd be seeing this for a long time. A truck did do a run with no driver in it. I think it was just DC like a DC or distribution center, but it's coming faster than we think. What do you guys think about that? I mean, I think it's dangerous having nobody in the truck, nobody at the steering.
I mean, we just watched that Tesla video.
Oh yeah,
was all over the road.
So no one was in the truck, Ian?
That's what it says. I don't know. Do you see anybody in the driver's seat there? Yeah.
You guys watch football. I don't know if your commercials were the same, but GM had their commercial where it's like you take your hands off the wheel when you're behind it.
Yeah.
And that's like the incubator for what's coming. I'm like, and I'm telling my kids, I'm like, when that happens, I'm off the road. Like, when that's a normal practice.
We're gonna start taking the horse and buggies back across the
right,
like we were talking about earlier.
Off road. You should pull up that Tesla video.
Oh man,
yeah, that was horrifying.
I don't want to get sued by Elon Musk.
So how did they do gold?
Yeah, but he tweeted really nice about it.
Can't get out and look.
And then,
from what I understand, Budweiser's been doing it for a couple years.
Yeah,
up
started in 2016.
Yeah, they've been doing it with drivers in the seats still, but this was fully autonomous, no operator on board. So
the robot's driving and the guy next to him is drinking.
No, the guy's driving with his Oculus Quest 2, sitting in the dispatch room.
Imagine you're working a guard shack and truck rolls up and there's nobody there.
Plows through it.
Sounds like a Stephen King movie.
Yeah.
Give me to your driver's license.
Oh man. All right, and then last thing I wanted to go over, there is going to be a little construction going on in Kansas City. Part of northbound 35 will be closed. I got a little map here, just this little sliver right here between 12th and 70. So they are going to have a different route around that. Imagine just go up to 71 here and then back over. But I don't know the area as well as some of you guys do. But yeah, just be aware of that if you're going to be going through there. I think they said 6 months.
There's several ways in Kansas City to get around.
Yeah,
I gotcha. Yeah, but that might cause some problems for y'all. So. And there we go. There's the
wait a
news.
minute. Can we get a port update?
There really wasn't too much besides finding a dead body. So I don't really have too much of an update.
Yeah. How is that normal news?
Well, it's Los Angeles, so.
It's Florida man.
Well, I think Mike, you and I talked about it, and it seemed like there was a little less volume in the last 7 days out there.
Yeah, it's slowed down, and they're getting caught back up.
Prices are still good. Rates are. Well, it depends on where you're going. Maybe not to Phoenix, but
to Maine, yeah.
No, I mean all over. I mean, it's definitely slowed down a lot. I mean, there was a gigantic rush because everything wasn't where it was supposed to be. So, yeah. I think we're gonna see this little bit of a slouch for a minute. And,
Well, we could run the East Coast. It seems like it's hot.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's bad. It's still a lot better than the rest of the country. But if you go, if you find yourself in SoCal, don't do what everyone else is doing and run 10 and 20. Get up into the snow. That's where the money is. You got to run what everyone else doesn't want to run, or you're
the
just
South.
The same
the rates in the South tanked this week because of that storm.
Terrible.
And we've got guys on like project stuff, that are staying out of the snow and in the South. So it's not a whole bunch of trucks that we've been sending out west and running. It's just been a handful, but then a couple
and
that live
our
out there.
guys who have been going up there, they have not really been experiencing too many delays. They're not really getting stuck like everyone always says.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't go there. I'm gonna get stuck. Like,
Well, I didn't look at the rates today going SoCal to the Pacific Northwest, like Portland, Seattle. Ian, what was it? You were looking, because I know you were looking at that for one of
I
our
mean,
guys.
anywhere from 4 to maybe 55 if you're lucky.
Okay.
So maybe
dropped
a
off a little.
little bit more than that. Yeah,
Right.
I mean, it dropped off a little bit, but it's still worth it compared. I mean, like,
Yeah, it's
oh, man.
1,100 miles.
I'll tell you what. So that lane, SoCal to Phoenix, like
Yeah.
that you mentioned. I mean, what was it today,
dropped
Zach? I mean, it was
$1,000.
Zach
it was
told me today.
Yeah, it was terrible. It's
Yeah.
absolutely terrible.
Well, we don't run it when they don't want to pay. But yeah, Zach told me that today, and that's where, last week, Mike, they were what, 55 to 6 is what we were getting going north to Portland or Seattle.
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Oh, and
I
it's
think.
dropped coming back down too.
Has it?
Tremendously.
I figured that had to happen sooner or later.
Yeah, that's never been a good
and
lane.
I only run West Coast when the money's good, but
Yeah.
this is not my comfort zone. When it starts dropping, put me back in the Midwest. That's
Yeah.
where I'm more
You're already
comfortable.
on your way back to the snowstorm, Ray.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
Doty, I don't know if you had seen it, but past couple weeks, Iowa has been on fire as well. I mean,
Really?
amazing
No,
rates.
I
going on there,
haven't.
Yeah.
I haven't had anybody up there. But luckily, I've got lucky. Like I said, Robbie's the only one in the Northeast. I think. Ann's home in Missouri, my company driver. But other than that, I think I was able to keep everybody. Pretty much everybody's running 10 or somewhere south.
You got them on that
away
port
from
stuff. That's
Yeah, some of that,
good.
some of it, and Potts. I got him out of Oklahoma to Jacksonville, so just stayed away from the stuff. And I think I got lucky with some of the rates too, because I looked today, on some lanes, some southern lanes, and getting the guys back from San Antonio to Mississippi, there was no loads at all. Like hours just finding one load to get
in
them
the
back.
Did you look at Laredo Market going that way?
Yeah,
The
there was
deadhead?
a few to Laredo, but the only thing was that he couldn't get it picked up today.
Oh, so you got to
Because of his delivery time. Yeah, luckily I was able to find, because he wasn't delivering until he didn't deliver till I don't know 3 or 4 this afternoon. But
Yeah.
I got him one of those. I've been working. There's some carrier loads out of San Antonio that go to Alabama and then Louisiana. So they're light and they pay pretty well. The only thing is the shippers they don't let you in early and they take forever to load.
Yeah.
But that is what it is, I guess.
All right. Well, you got anything else, Christian?
Not on
That's
this end, no.
Right.
I don't.
From the shores of Lake Erie to the hills of Roanoke, Virginia. Let's go. We will talk to you guys next week. Thanks to our friends of the show, Truck Works Kenworth of Dothan, Alabama. Over the Road Apparel, work clothes for the modern day trucker. Prime Wellness and Performance. Louis Vasquez's place in San Antonio. Al's Quality Market in Barberton. My buddy.
Oh, I have to give a shout out to them. I got a couple Delmonico steaks the other day.
Yeah.
I mean, oh man, the marbling was out of this world. I had Coomer over. What did you think about that? I mean,
it was pretty good.
Is
One of the
anyone
best steaks
driving
I've ever
down
had.
here? Because I would dive some prime rib or something from there as well.
See, we're all driving. That'll be $300.
Yeah, it's not cheap.
Delivery fee.
We'll bring you some Barberton chicken.
Oh no,
No, thanks.
No, we
No.
wouldn't.
And no,
wanna
my
do
car
that to
would
him.
smell like absolute crap after that drive.
Yeah. The box just turns to grease.
There'd be a
cardboard
hole
box.
in my floor.
That happens about 3 minutes after you get it. But the Gator drive-through and our friend over there, Mike. Mike's got no help these days. He's working 7 days a week, open to close, and it's just hard to keep help. He was telling me so. But he's like, man, I need to retire and go to Florida. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Kumar, what do we got going on our social media? Do you want to tell us? What's TikTok?
Yeah, TikTok, Facebook.
You doing any dances on TikTok yet?
Not yet.
Oh, tons of dances.
Okay, cool.
Just me though. Nothing. Nobody
Just
else.
you in your office.
I've been checking out our TikToks. You've got some pretty funny clips up there. I like
Thank
it.
you. Yeah, so yeah, just subscribe there or like, comment, and it's Talkin Truckin
No
without
G's.
the G's, and that's all.
if that's it, everybody have a safe week, and we will talk to you soon next week.
Bye-bye.
Go
Browns, go Guardians,
Bengals.
and go Cavaliers. Fourth in the East.